Is it just me, or does Justin Timberlake seem kind of downtrodden these days? Like, I know he's out there and he's, promoting his brand new album that's coming out, Everything I Thought It Was, and he's got the new song Selfish out. And, usually when he's out and about and he's promoting his stuff, he's like really happy. He's jovial, he's upbeat, he's got a smile on his face. He looks like he legitimately wants to be out and about with the people, out in the public, showing off his new work, and it's usually all pretty great, He does his SNL appearances where he goes in there with Jimmy Fallon and does the Barry Gibb talk show and some other skits, and he's on the Tonight Show a lot, just doing all the things, right? And he's doing it with a big smile on his face. But this album cycle, I don't know if maybe I'm just reading more into what his face is saying to me than what's actually going on, but it just seems like he doesn't seem all that enthusiastic. Now, I'm only speculating because I don't know what's actually going on his head. I'm just going from me looking at his face in these various appearances he's done as of late. He recently did SNL. He's been on the Kelly Clarkson Show. He's been on the Tonight Show. He's done other various appearances, and he's got the new video out for his new song, Selfish, right? And yet, in all of these appearances, just the read on his face is saying to me, at least, I don't really want to be doing this. I just don't want to be here right now in this moment, out there in the public eye, more so than I normally am, talking about this stuff. You figure between album cycles and when he's not doing movies, you don't really see a lot of him. Like, he's usually at home, at his farm with his wife and kids, just living it up, whatever. But we don't really see him all that much out in the public unless he's promoting stuff. But I get it, because obviously if you guys watch entertainment stuff like I do, recently there's been a lot of bad press that has come out about Justin, due in part to Britney Spears' book. And in that book, she goes extensively into her side of her and Justin's relationship from back in the early 2000s, where in the course of that book, she talks about how famously he convinced her to get an abortion when she got pregnant by him, and then later broke up with her by way of text message, and also put out the song Cry Me a River, whereby the woman in that video looked very much like Britney, and the song was essentially talking about their breakup from Justin's point of view, right? And so all that stuff happened in the early 2000s, and yet now, because she's finally telling her side of the story, people are retroactively going back and being mad at Justin for doing all these horrible things, and how dare he. I was around at the time when he put out Cry Me a River. We all knew the girl in the video looked like Britney. We all knew he was talking about the breakup, and nobody said a single solitary thing about it back then. But now, years later, once we've all gotten past that and it's no longer a thing that's in the public eye, now Britney decides she wants to talk about it, and as a result of that, he's now getting bad press. Now, does this absolve him from hypothetically doing anything back then that in Britney's eyes would have made her feel bad or cause her some kind of mental harm? It does not. I think that, ultimately, if she got pregnant and he convinced her to have an abortion, that is a decision that he decided he wanted to make and that she decided to go through with. Because there are plenty of women out there that a guy will say to them, hey, you need to get an abortion because I got you pregnant and I don't want to take care of the kid. And the woman will just be like, no, I'm keeping it. So she could have made the decision to keep the kid in spite of what Justin wanted, But again, he's the bad guy for even suggesting it, even though, to be honest, at that age, she probably wasn't ready to take care of kids either. Hey, look at her now. Where are her current kids? Her current kids are living with the father because she was deemed not fit to take care of her kids. So maybe Justin saw something back then that we didn't see, and in hindsight probably should have seen. But that's beside the point. The point is, because of Britney's book and because of all the bad press, it seems as though it's like Justin's in a bind, because on one hand, with all this stuff coming out about him that's negative press, he probably doesn't want to be out there and have to possibly face more questions, or the public everywhere he goes yelling, hey, what about Britney? What did you do to Britney? How dare you, blah, 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 right? Like, he doesn't want to be out there for that. But on the other hand, he's been working on music. And in order to put music out, traditionally, you got to promote it. You got to do the shows. You got to do the tours. You got to be out in front of people. You got to shake hands and kiss babies like you're running for office, like you're a freaking politician, right? So he has a situation where, because of all this bad press, he doesn't want to be out there. but because he has an album coming out and because he had the Trolls movie come out, he has to be out there. It's a no-win situation. So based on all of that stuff, this is why I say when I see his face, to me, it looks like he's reluctantly out there knowing that he has to do it for the music, but wishing that he didn't have to be out there doing it because it means possibly facing scrutiny at large for all these things that he did in the past that allegedly were bad, and now the public wants to judge him for it. On top of then to come out with a song called Selfish, and it just so happens that Britney Spears, the ex that is bashing you in the media, back in 2011, had a song come out on her Femme Fatale album that was also called Selfish. The public at large is like, oh my God, Justin released a song called Selfish. Well, we're going to make Britney's Selfish song do better. Like, all of this has got to be weighing on him. And again, it's all showing in his face. I look at his face and I think to myself, this is a guy that is going through some trauma in the public right now because he doesn't want to be there, but he has to promote stuff and he has no other option. What is a guy to do? I'm hoping that this album comes out and it's a great album and that it sells a decent amount of copies, but I think this is officially the era of Justin Backlash, and I think he knows it's coming. And I think because he knows it's coming, he's like, I have this great work, and most people probably aren't going to hear it because they're mad at me because of the Britney thing, and yet I got to go promote it anyway. And it's all reading on his face. But hey, I could be tripping. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that Justin is totally happy out there and is fine doing all this stuff? Or do you think that this stuff is weighing on him? Are you looking at his face and seeing the same thing that I'm seeing? Or are you seeing a guy that he's a little tired because of touring, but ultimately he wants to be out there? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below because I have no idea. I could be tripping, But anyway, let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. Leave them in the comments below. In the meantime, like this video, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm out. Peace.